Hi, welcome to Data Precision, which where we're looking at lookup functions and operators. So this is a Google Cloud self-paced lab under Google Skills, and our objective in this lab is to look at pivot dimensions, reorder columns and remove fields, and use table calculations and functions. So before we start, we look at the instructions. So our first task is having multiple dimensions. How often is just to look at when you pivot one of the dimensions horizontally. We'll be doing it on lookup. So let's start our lab. We would open lookup in incognito window. Would copy our username and our password. So once we log in, we will go through in local navigation menu. We're going to click on explore. Under FA, we click on flights. So click on explore. Under FA, we click on flights. Under flights, we go to measures and click count. Here's count. Click on count. Under flight dimensions, we go to depart date and click on week. Dimensions, depart date, go to nested data week. Within the depart date dimension group, we click on the filter button next to the date dimension. We click on the filter button next to the date dimension. This is the filter button here. And we pick is in the year 2003. So we click is in the year and type in our year. Click on run. So you can see our results here. Next, under flight dimensions, we'll click on pivot data button for distance steered. Under flight dimension, click on distance steered and click on run. And steered. And pivot data button for distance. This is the pivot data button. We've done that. Then we click on run. Okay. So if there's no row of data whose value would appear in a column that is indicated with the null symbol, a zero with a slash across, for example, the below zero column has all null values. You can also sort pivoted dimensions by clicking the title of the dimension. To sort by multiple pivoted dimensions, hold down the shift key and then click on dimension titles in the order you would like them sorted. When we are sorting a pivoted measure, any rows with values in that column are sorted first, followed by the rows without data in that column indicated by the null value symbol. So click the arrow next to visualization to expand the window. You can hold down then sort. You can sort by flight counts. So let's go to the visualization. Okay. So we can see those below zero, the goes from 0 to 99. Okay. Once the visualization window is expanded, hover over the icons to identify the available options. Change the visualization type to line. So we have it already online. Is this because it's a time graph. So we click on edit plot for the settings gear for visualization. So this is the edit settings gear. First, we'll select legend align as left and click the gear icon to close the settings. Legend align left, click close it. We brought our legend to the left. Click the settings icon next to run and select save as a look. And this will be the title. Click on save. So save as a look title. Click on save. Okay. So let's check our progress. Verify the objective is carried out. So go to our second task now. We want to reorder the columns and remove some fields. You can reorder columns in data section by clicking on the column header and moving the columns to desired position. The explore visualization will reflect the new column order after a click run. Columns are organized in the data section by field type, dimension, dimension table and calculations, measures, measure table calculations, and row totals. For the most part, columns can be ordered within each field but cannot be moved out of the field type section. For example, dimension table calculations can be arranged among themselves, but you cannot place the dimension table in between two measures. One exception, however, is that that you can use the arrow next to the row totals checkbox on the data tab to move the row total from far right of the data table to just after the dimension table calculation. So you move it just where you need it. Columns under pivoted dimension can be reordered but the order of pivoted dimensions can be changed only by changing the sort order, not by manual ordering. So you change by changing the sort order, not by manual reordering. So in the local navigation menu, we're going to click on Explore, Fresh, and under FAA Flights, we click on Flights. So let's go to Explore. So first of all, let's go back to Explore. Then under Explore, we go to FAA, then we click on Flights. Under Flights Measures, we click Percent Cancelled. Flights. Under Flights Measures, click on Percent Cancel, which is here. Then under Flight Dimensions, Depart Date, click on Month. Depart Date, we have month nested underneath it. Remember, our dimensions are in blue and our measures are in yellow. Within the Depart Date dimension group, click the filter button next to the date dimension. So within the Depart Date dimension group, we'll click the filter button next to date dimension. Depart Date, we click on the filter next to date dimension. So this is date dimension. Here's the filter. So we would now pick this in the year 2000 for the filter. This in the year, type in the year 1000 for the filter. Under aircraft origin dimensions, we'll click on state and click run. Under the aircraft origin dimensions, we'll click on state and click on run. State is here and we click on run. So we have it in percentage with these bars. So we'll click the percentage cancelled column header to reorder the percent from high to low. Click on it to reorder high to low, which is descending. So we have here. Next, we would hover over the department column and click the gear icon that appears on the right side and click remove. With department column, and click on remove. So now you can also remove fields in the Explorer using the keyboard shortcuts Command K for Mac or Ctrl K for Windows. So the next thing we'll do is, once the column is removed from the data section, we click run again. Since we've taken out one here, we're going to click run again. So you can see some adjustments have been made here. We will click on the settings icon next to run and save as a look. And we'll title look as percent of flights cancelled, percent of flights cancelled in the states by state in 2000. Okay, so look, you can save our progress. So our next task is to use the table calculations to calculate simple percentages. The table calculations make it easy to create on-the-fly metrics. They are similar to formulas found in spreadsheets like Excel. Table calculations appear as green columns in the data table rather than as blue columns, that's dimensions, or orange columns measures. Okay, orange columns actually measures, not yellow. Table calculations can perform mathematical, logical, which is true or false, lexical, text-based, and date-based calculations on dimensions, measures, and other table calculations in your query. The formula that you use to execute these calculations are for local expressions. Table calculations are different from regular fields, although table calculations are similar to dimensions and measures. There are some important differences. Table calculations give anyone the ability to create fields as opposed to regular fields, which require you to have develop permissions and understand LookML. LookML is what Looker is built on. Table calculations operate on the results from your query as opposed to regular fields, which are part of the query itself. In other words, you select a set of dimensions and measures and run your report as normal. When then you base table calculations on the data in the report. Although table calculations are easier to create than regular fields, they are not as easily controlled as regular fields. Next, we're going to create a map visualization. But remember, keep this trade-off in mind as you decide between regular fields and table calculations, since one of the key advantages of Looker is having a single source of truth. So in this section, we will create a map that shows the percentage of flights cancelled by aircraft origins state for the year 2004. So in the local navigation, we go to navigation menu, we go to explore. So let's go back to explore. From explore under FA flights, we click flights, under flight details, measures. Click on flights. Under the flight details, we click measures, cancelled count. Measures, cancelled count. Under flight measures, we click count. Flight measures, we click on count. Under aircraft origin dimensions, we click on state. Aircraft origin dimensions, we click on state. Under the flights within the departure date dimension group, we click on filter. So remember, we are creating a map that shows the percentage of flights. Just like we have in SQL, say select from this cancelled. So yeah, which is this cancelled, is this cancelled by aircraft originating for the state. So this state we have here is this state, and the year 2004 is this year 2004. So let's continue. So we have the state, we have the cancelled count, we have the flight count. Now under flight depart state dimension group, under flights depart state, they would click the filter button next to dates. And the filter button next to date, I'll see it's in the year 2004. And we'll click on run. We have all our fields. Now, next to the control fields, we click add and select table calculation. So, inside our custom fields, we have the add on table calculation. In the table calculation pop-up window, you can start constructing our custom metrics. Expression create can evaluate the number, date, string, or boolean. If you already have the table calculation defined, you click the add table calculation button to create another. You're able to add as many table calculations as needed. For each table calculation, we rename the table calculation if desired. Optionally, we will click default formatting to choose a predefined format to create a custom format for results. If we create a custom format, we use Excel style formatting as described on this link and start typing a local expression into the large text box to form our calculation. Local expressions can be quite simple and they can use as many field functions and operators as our business logic requires. The creating local expression documentation explains how to create local expressions and how the editor helps you. I have these links on the side. If it refers to documentation, we're coming back. I have this links. So let's continue. So when you're finished adding table calculation, we click on save. The table calculation fields appear next to your dimensions and measures in the table. If you want to use your table calculation in the future, be sure to save your look or copy the table calculation formula into another document. In the expression field, we add the following calculation. Click default formatting to change the format to percent and rename the calculation to percent cancelled. So it's our expression, default formatting, and name, let's rename this percent cancelled. I'm not seeing. So let's see. In the expression field, we add the following calculation. We've done that. Click the default formatting to change the format sent. Okay, there it is. Sent. Name to percent and click save. We hover over the cancel count column and click the icon for visualization. Save. So we hover over the cancelled count column and click on the gear icon and hide from visualization. Cancelled count, hide from visualization. So you can see the eye is crossed. Next, we repeat the same process to hide the count column from visualization. It's our count column, hide from visualization. Next, we'll go to the visualization, which will expand it and change it to map. It's already on map. Click the settings gear next to run and save as a loop. Title the loop percentage of flight cancelled by aircraft origin 2004 and click on save. Save as a loop. Name and save. Let's check our progress. Verify the objective. So next we're going to use table calculations to calculate percentages of a total. In this section, we'll create a bar chart that shows the percentage of total distance flown by the carrier. So let's go refresh to explore. Under the FAA, we click on flights. Under flights measures, we click on total distance. Flights to measures, we click on total distance. Next, under carriers dimensions, we click on name. Carriers dimensions, we click on name. In the data bar, we click on the totals checkbox next to row limit. Data bar, click on row limit. Click on totals. These are the totals. Then we click on run. This run out our totals on our fields. So next, on custom fields, click on add table calculation, and we put in the current expression. Next, click the default and change the format to percent, and click on save. Let's give it a name. Let's name it percentages of total in percentage of total distance. So next we're going to hide. So hover over the total distance, hide it, total distance, and then we hide. Next we're going to run and click the arrow next to the realization to expand it. We're running it. We have our results, visualization. So we change our visualization type to bar, then column, into bar. These are results. Next, bold, save as a look, and we give it the name, percent of total distance flown by area. Let's check our progress. Next, we're going to use functions in table calculations. Local expressions, sometimes referred to as LEXP, are used to perform calculations. Table calculations include expressions using data sets. As earlier, we have custom fields, we have custom filters. The major part of these expressions is the functions and operators that you can use in them. The function operators can be divided into a few basic categories, which are mathematical, string, dates, logical transformation, and positional transformation. Here are the documentation links which I'll make available on video. So some functions are already available for table functions. Local expressions for custom filters and custom fields do not support local functions that convert data types, aggregate data from multiple views, or refer to the other rows or pivot columns. These functions are supported only for table calculations, including table calculations using the expression parameter of the data test. So that's the data set. In this section, you find the year over year percentage change in flights flown by flight distance tier for all flights departing January 1st, 2000. You will display this as a table and add conditional formatting. So let's go ahead and do that. So let's go to explore under looker. So then under FA, we click on flights. Under flights, we click measures and count. Other flights, measures, then click on count. Next, under flight dimensions, we click distance tiered. Flight dimensions, we click distance tiered. Under flights, within the depart date dimension, click on pivot data button next to the year dimension. Flight depart date, pivot beside the year. Next, we click on the filter button next to date. In the filter date, we use is on or after the 1st of January 2000. On or after absolute January. Okay. 0101,000. So next we click on run. After that, we would add next to custom fields, we will add our table calculation and make use of the pivot offset function. So we make use of the pivot offset function. Add table calculation. And we'll click on run. Default formatting. Change format to percentage and click on save. Here we can call it pivot offset. Save. We hover over the count column and we hide from visualization. Over the count column, hide visualization, and you can see it as hidden all count columns. So next, we click on run and we look at our visualization as a table. And we look at it as a table. Next, we'll click on edit formatting and we'll toggle enable conditional formatting to on. Enable conditional formatting on. Accept default options and click add a row. Dot and click on add a row. Next, we'll click on the gear to close the settings. What we'll do next, on the gear icon, next to run, click save as a look, and we call it year on year percentage change in flights from distance, flown by distance 2000 to present, and we click on save. let us check our progress. So in this lab, we learned how to pivot dimensions, the other columns, and remove fields, and use table calculations and functions. And what I'll do next will be exploring data in local documentation. Thank you very much. Remember to end your lab. See you in my next video.